Hey fam, back with another episode. I'm gonna be honest, I started recording this episode and I stopped. Got like 3 minutes in and I was like, nope, this doesn't feel right. Just your sign to be authentic. Of course, as I start recording, there's a plane going overhead. So loud. Holy. Okay, we're just gonna take a sip of our drink here. While we wait for that, holy. That was like the most perfect timing for this video, so we're gonna keep that because y'all know me. I don't edit these. They're just real raw and vulnerable because this is how it would be if we were sitting here in real time. So I'm cackling now because that is just so on brand with this message. This whole video is gonna be about completion, and now the wind's picking up. This is good. This is good. Where are the birds? If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know the birds always make an appearance when I sit down to record, but they're not around at all right now, which is really odd. Anyways, that's super interesting to me. Anywho, this video is going to be about completion today because if you've watched any of my recent videos, I've talked about transition and grief and just so many things about change that it feels like completion is a good topic to talk about today. I've had a lot evolving in my realm, reality, if you will. It's like so much is evolving, but it seems like nothing is evolving at the same time. And I know we have a new moon in Capricorn today when I'm recording this, and it feels like that's been hitting everyone pretty hard, from what it sounds like. And what's interesting is I was talking to a friend in Thailand last night, or she's not in Thailand anymore. She's in Vietnam. Shout out Cheyenne if this video ever makes it over to you. I love our late night chats because we're like, I don't even know, 16 hours apart or something like that. It's just absurd. And anyways, my late night, it's her morning, which is pretty cool. But anyways, that's besides the point. My point is we were talking last night about this unsure energy, and both of us are really tapped in. And it's interesting to be a very tapped in individual and know and feel the shifts. Like I saw a shift and felt the shift. Actually, I felt the shift before I saw the shift last week. And it was so fast and so almost energetically whiplashing. Like, what I mean by that is like you can feel the disconnect from something, almost like when you rip a plug out of a wall and your TV goes off. Like, that immediateness is what an energetic whiplash feels like. And it's when, obviously, we had some major timeline jumps, if you will, on Schumann last week. And so I know that this was all part of that. And a lot of people are being given an opportunity right now to either choose fear and lack and scarcity, or to choose the higher path, which the higher path is honestly harder to choose sometimes because it's not something that we're used to. It's having blind faith in something that we cannot fully see. I have blind faith every day of my life, and I don't think I've ever had as much blind faith as I have right now in this very moment for whatever's to come, because I can feel how good it is. I can feel what's next. I'm so curious what's going to happen because I can feel that my time is ending here in Oceanside. And it's funny when, I was just in my previous video, which I already started, I was talking about like the energy right now, and it feels like, we're at the end of the year of the snake, and I'm not huge into astrology, but I do know that it does have a, I don't want to say a chokehold, but it does have an influence, if you will, on the energies that play within our realities. And it feels like right now we're at the end of the snake, and like what it feels like is when you have a scab from an injury or wound, and that scab is almost done coming off, like the last like little bit is hanging on. You're like, what the fuck is this like last little bit of scab like hanging on for? Dear life. And you can see where like the new skin has formed and all the things, and you're just like, I don't know when this last piece is gonna come off. You want to peel it off because that would just be easier, but that would be rushing the process, right? And that's what this feels like right now. It feels like we have that little last piece of scab, and I just want to rip it off because I'm like such a rip the band-aid off kind of girl. I don't usually toe dip. I'm usually like an all-in kind of thing, which I've gotten a little bit better about in my elder years, if you will. But anyways, my point is that we're in this last little bits of shedding, and it can feel really uncomfy right now, especially like this new moon energy is doing something for the better, and it feels like this week is about to take off, or that's the energy of it. I don't know if it's Aquarius season or whatever it is, but it feels like it's about to take off. It feels like just completion of a lot of things. And it's interesting because this topic has come up as, for me personally, when I am nearing the end of a stay or nearing the end of being somewhere, I get this like, I used to get an overwhelming feeling that I needed to run. If you've been following me on social media for the last year or so, you know that I was car camping this time last year, and it just was very much like, oh, gotta go, oh, gotta go. Like I was constantly running, constantly chasing after this feeling of home, of safety, of things that are found within. And what happens within then gets mirrored to the external reality of, and I'm in this space right now where my home, my center is so peaceful and so grounded, and where I used to be in chaos and anxiety and so many, just ungrounded, if you will. I thought I was grounded, but it's just interesting what we think sometimes is actually not what we think. Because then when you finally do get grounded, you're like, oh, and like things start dropping in, you're like, this is it. This is what it's supposed to be like. And so I've been in this space recently of just at a deep sense of peace, at a deep sense of ungroundedness, to the point where if anything comes in that's not that, I can feel it so much more deeply, and I'm like, whoa, no, that's not it. I mean, it's even so much coming up in my dreams. And that's the other funny thing is last night I had a dream, and I shared this because I love dream work. My dreams have been so vivid, and I absolutely love dreams. And I will say that I did not have vivid dreams for a very long time because I was a stony baloney. And fun fact, for those of you who might partake in the gardening before you go to bed, is that I think I said at the beginning of this video, like, where are the birds? And now the birds are everywhere again. So funny. Fun fact though, gardening does not allow you to get into REM sleep, which is where your like deep dreaming happens, if you will. So if you're like waking up in the middle, if you are gardening and then waking up in the middle of the night, perhaps between like the hours of 3 and 4 or 2 and 4, somewhere in there, and you might need to garden again to go back to sleep, just know that that's a result of the gardening. And I say that because I've experienced it, and I have not gardened in a while, and I noticed that when I do now, I like almost never dream. Anyways, my point is that I had a dream last night, and I was taking care of this dog. Super calm, peaceful dog, totally chill. All of a sudden, I'm in this like apartment building or house or whatever, and the tenants or whoever was living next door left, and they left their little dog behind. This dog came in and just was absolutely fucking obnoxious, chaotic. If you can picture, like, y'all ever seen Flubber? How Flubber is like so chaotic and like bouncing off the walls? Picture that, but in dog form. Like, that's what was in my dream last night, and I was like, the fuck is this energy? And then when I woke up, I had Roots by Valerie Broussard and Galantis stuck in my head, and I kept hearing distinctly like, we can put down roots. And I was like, what the frick is this energy? And I'm like, oh, that chaotic energy was literally what I was in this time last year. I was so transient last year. I was moving around. all the freaking time. All I wanted to do was get grounded. All I wanted to do was be in a space for longer than a few days. And it's funny, I feel like Snow White, I've called all the birds in. They're literally everywhere now. This is hilarious. I love this for us so much. Hi, Jay Bird. I know that's you sitting up there. There's one like right in front of me right now. It's so cool. Anyways, my point is that I have wholeheartedly been shedding this old chaotic energy, and that is not where I operate from anymore. And this feels like such a completion because I am such at peace, and old me, and I can feel her occasionally, but it's like not letting her run the show in terms of what my next move is, because we want to know, we want to have a plan, right? I'm human, but I also do so well with going with the flow. And it's hard when you live in a world where everybody plans and everyone needs a plan and wants a plan and needs to know X, Y, and Z, rather than just trusting, right? And yes, I know what it is to make a plan, but I also know deeply what it's like to trust in the flow and know that everything will be provided for at the exact moment that it's supposed to. I know for me, my travels have never been like a plan ahead type of thing. In fact, when I plan ahead, it usually gets a little wonky, or has in the past. And for me, it's more of like, I know within like 24 to 48 hours, like I gotta go. And this period is interesting because I'm not in the lack and scarcity anymore like I was last year. And the birds are in their nest. That's funny. And so anyways, this big completion energy is like noticing where I'm like, ooh, I feel like I want to run right now. But also like, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel resonant. That doesn't feel like the energy that I'm in. And that's not the energy that I want to carry forward with me. And it's interesting to be a nomad and to not always have a plan. And I feel like it's different when you're in other countries too. Life feels a lot more flexible when I'm out of the country than when I'm here in the States. It feels very much like a States kind of culture that we have to have a plan and we need to know the next 12 steps. And sometimes I feel like it's just like having a goal and knowing that if it's aligned, that will happen. So for me, it's like leaving by a certain day, right? And even then, that feels weird to say. My whole point is there's a lot of completion energy in the air right now, and to not run away from it, to not try and dig your way out of it, to not try and shove it away or distract yourself, because the more that you distract yourself from what is trying to leave, the louder it's going to get. I hate to be that person, but I'm gonna be that person because I know, because I used to just distract myself, and now it's like you can't distract anymore. It's just gonna get louder and louder and louder until you finally make peace with yourself and you realize that you are a different person than you were before. And you're like, for me, I'm a different person than I was the last time I moved a month and a half ago. I'm a totally different person than I was when I got here to San Diego a couple months ago. And yeah, it's been a nice little incubator. You know, it's wild. I've been here for October to November, January. It's been about 3 months, which is so funny because that's kind of, I feel like that's almost like my mark. 3 to 4 months usually somewhere. And not to say that I can't have a home base, like physically somewhere, but it's like 3 months and then I've learned what I needed to, on to the next. And that's a lot longer timeline than what it used to be. It used to be like every couple of days or a week. And that was more so me running and trying to find something outside of myself. Anyways, note from the wise, don't run. Don't run from yourself, and just know that home is within. And if you have these last little bits of scab, if you will, on your snake, then just sit with it. Enjoy every moment of every day. Know that this timing will never be here again. And yeah, just be in completion. Be in the liminal space. Don't try to run from it. And just know that everything has a perfect timing. And it's not this orchestrated thing that we all want and crave, because we need to have control when that's a lot is truly out of our control. If that's growth, though, and you can let go of control and just trust and have blind faith. And it might not look like the rest of the world, it might not look like how everyone else operates, but I've said it so many times, trust is like muscle training. You just have to keep doing it. And you finally get to a place where you realize how much you've grown. 3 little birds just went flying by. And you realize that everything really is gonna be okay. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. So don't worry about a thing. Oh. This feels really special. I hope that if you're watching this, so you can feel the energy. I think it's like radiating out of me in a way. And I'm excited for what's to come. I don't necessarily have all the answers in this very moment, but I do have a few things looming, if you will. Part of me is like, am I going to Tahoe? Part of me is, am I booking a one-way ticket to Thailand? Both have come up in the last 48 hours, and it's just the perfect timing because I was given the opportunity to start making a move, if you will. And so I've been in preparation mode, and I trust that. I think the thing to remember, and this was reflected to me through a client recently, is that we may not know, like if we're moving, I know I said this in one of my recent videos too, when I was going through my divorce and moving cross country to Colorado. We may not know financially how it's all gonna work out, but just know that if the move is aligned for you, all of the resources will be provided. And I can wholeheartedly say that every move that I've made over the last year, I didn't know how it was gonna work out. Somehow it all worked out. And it always does, especially if it's aligned. If it's not aligned, you might hit some bumps in the road, but if you truly trust in yourself and it's aligned and everything is falling into place, my whole thing is if it feels easy, it's for you. If everything is falling into place, it's for you. If you're constantly hitting road bumps and things like that, just take a step back, take a breather. It's not meant to be hard. We're the ones that make it hard. But if something is truly in alignment for you, it should be easy. So don't fight it. Don't fight completion. Don't fight anything. Don't force it. Just let it be easy. It's truly a breath of fresh air, to be completely honest with you, when everything just seemingly clicks into place. Three ravens just went by. I will resort back to Bob Marley yet again. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be all right. That feels like a good place to stop this. So much bird song in the background. I hope this is finding you whenever this finds you. I hope you have a magical day, and I can't wait to see you on the next one and give you more updates about all the things. All right, fam. I love you.